If you've been a runner for more than 5 minutes, you've probably heard some version of this commandment. You must get protein into your system within 30 to 60 minutes of finishing your workout. I mean, this is written everywhere. It is in all running books, it's all over online, it's in coaches' tips for recovery. I've actually read it on the Feed's website just a few weeks ago, and it's all over social media: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's literally everywhere. And for years, I believed it too. That was until 2023 when I was studying to become an ASM CPT and read something that made me stop and literally say, wait, what? Essentially, it said that research shows that protein does not need to be eaten within a specific window after working out. And they came with receipts too and had sources listed. I actually read through that nutrition chapter 3 times before then diving down the PubMed rabbit hole because I was so sure that I misunderstood something. But no, there it was in black and white. The science was clear. The anabolic window that we've been warned about missing, it's not really a thing. Hi everyone, I'm Jess, a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and run coach, and a 14-time marathoner with degrees in English and history. So I am not a medical professional, nor am I a dietitian, but I do have some experience with running and analyzing everything that I read. And today I want to break down what the research actually shows and what I found, and how endurance athletes have nutrient timing a little bit mixed up. Let's start with the myth itself. The old idea was that there's this magical anabolic window, a tiny 30-minute portal after your workout where protein is basically magical fairy dust. Miss that window, and too bad, your muscles will never grow. Your gains evaporate, and you're doomed. This protein panic came from research that shows that muscles are more receptive to amino acids after training. So that part is true. But here's the nuance that got lost in translation. If you've eaten protein any time in the few hours after or even before your workout, you already have amino acids circulating in your bloodstream during and after your run. But nuance isn't catchy, and it doesn't sell bars and protein powder. And so the message got flattened into eat protein immediately or your workout doesn't count. And runners, being the rule-following, gold star-seeking creatures that we all are, took that to heart. Except that's not what the research shows. Multiple reviews, including a meta-analysis on protein timing, found that total daily protein intake matters far more than when you eat it. I want to repeat that. Your total daily protein intake overall is the most important thing. Timing around the workout had no significant effect on hypertrophy or muscle growth when total daily protein was matched. So that window is not a window at all. It's more like a garage door that stays open for 1 to 2 days. So here's what the real science says. Number one, your body is sensitive to protein for 24 to 48 hours after training. And that is not 30 minutes and not 60 minutes, 24 hours. Number two, what matters most is your total daily protein. Research consistently shows that hitting your daily intake is the biggest driver of muscle repair and adaptation, not the exact timing of it. Number three, the best strategy is spacing protein evenly and consistently throughout the day. So the International Society of Sports Nutrition, or ISSN, recommends 20 to 40 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day to maximize your muscle multiprotein synthesis. And another study found that your body is only able to use a maximum of 30 to 40 grams of protein at one time. So any more than that, and your body is not using it effectively. This is not like a test. Cramming a ton of protein at one time or trying to make up is not beneficial for anything. And for crying out loud, no one needs a drink or a bar with 50 plus grams of protein, or like the gym bros push, one meal with 80 to 100 grams of protein at a time. It's not recovery. That's just a stomach ache waiting to happen. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for runners. For endurance athletes, the macro that matters most after a workout and has an actual timing window is carbs. So, carbohydrates are what replenish your glycogen, the fuel you actually use during your run. Now, research shows that rapid glycogen restoration happens in the first 2 to 4 hours after exercise, and delaying carbs by even 2 hours slows your recovery. One review article on post exercise nutrition basically confirmed something a lot of runners are getting wrong, and that is that carbs are doing most of the heavy lifting when it comes to recovery. After a hard run, your body is depleted of glycogen, and the fastest way to recover is to replace it with enough carbohydrates. Protein, they found, can help a little, but mainly if you're not eating, you guessed it, enough carbs. So if your recovery is slow, it's probably not a protein problem. It might be a carb problem. Now, protein does help with muscle repair, of course. There is no question about that. But did you know that carbs open the metabolic pathways that make protein more effective? So you need carbs to both replenish your glycogen and open the pathway to allow that consistent daily intake of protein to do its job of adaptation, repair, and building muscle. So here's what the ISSN stated in their article on nutrient timing. And I quote, consuming carbohydrates solely or in combination with protein during resistance exercise increases muscle glycogen stores, ameliorates muscle damage, and facilitates greater acute and chronic training adaptations. Meeting the total daily intake of protein, preferably with evenly spaced protein feedings approximately every 3 hours during the day, should be viewed as a primary area of emphasis for exercising individuals. End quote. Too long didn't read version is that carbs refill the tank. Protein supports the rebuild when you get enough of it consistently, and neither requires a 30-minute emergency feeding window. Myth debunked. So here's the simple research-backed approach as to what you can do. After a long run or a hard workout, prioritize carbs within the first 2 hours. Get a solid source of carbohydrates in. Start replenishing your glycogen. More if you are completely depleted. Less if you were fueling with carbs throughout the run or the workout. And then add 20 to 40 grams of protein to go along with those carbs. And not 50 plus, please. And keep in mind, for even shorter or easier runs or workouts, you don't need to refuel. Just eat something normal and move on with your day. Balanced meals are enough for short, easy workouts. And then consistently throughout the day, every day, eat 20 to 40 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours. Aim for a total of 1.4 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or 0.64 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. You'll want to figure out your total protein for each day based on your weight and what works for you, and then divide that into 3 to 5 meals of 20 to 40 grams. For example, I aim for 120 grams of protein each day. I tried 130, but felt too heavy and off, so I went back to 120, and that seems to work for me. So how I do this is I eat 20 grams in the morning, another 20 after my run or my workout, and then I eat 30 for both lunch and dinner, give or take. I'll get the remaining 20 then in cottage cheese or Greek yogurt or half a scoop of protein powder in milk, either mid-afternoon or an hour to an hour and a half after dinner. A key point to remember is that your protein needs do not bounce around with your training. Your carb needs, however, do change based on your runs or workouts, which can be different from one day to the next. Protein always stays steady. This is always true through training, weight loss, whatever. Remember, protein is steady and your carbs are variable. So if someone tells you you're ruining your recovery by not slamming protein right after your run, you can confidently tell them that the evidence doesn't support that any longer. And if they're drinking 50 grams of protein at once, maybe offer them a carb and a little compassion. Thanks for watching. And if you've got a runner friend, a coach, or a protein pusher in your life, please feel free to send this their way. Consider it a public service announcement.